Hi, this is Survival from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to show you how to create these roses. And these roses were created with this die. It's a spellbinder die, and it's from Danna Salazar. And you get $9 dies in the pack. And there are steel dies, as you can see here. And they're the wafer thin dies. So you get 9 of them. And so I use 4 of the petals to make this one. So this rose was created with the largest petal, so I cut 2 of these of the large one, and then I cut 1 of the next size, and then 1 of the next size, and then the last one was cut with this size. So it's 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these. You're also going to need either a brad, or I used a bead, which I put on some floral tape. So the bead is for the center, as you can see here. So I put the bead in the center, and then this is the floral tape, the floral wire. And you can snip this off if you're going to use it for a scrapbook page. You can also tie this around like a topiary. If you're using some kind of topiary, you can put that in there and create your topiary with this. Or you can just snip it all off. So once you create your flower, you can cut it all off and then just put it on either a headband or anything like that. So I am going to create, now this was created with the large die, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. But for this flower that I'm going to show you how to create, I'm going to use the large, next to the large die, then the next flower, the next one, and then this one. So I'm going to use 2 of these. So here are my 2 of those. And then I'm going to use 1 of these. And that's that one. And then I'm going to use 1 small one. And then the one for the next size. So these are going to be my dies. And then I'm going to take a bead. And how you create this, you're going to just snip some wire, some floral wire. You're going to take your bead, you're going to thread it through. And then just twist it. And that's pretty much it. So that's going to be my my center. I'm going to use this to put the flower, the smaller flower around my center. Okay. So I am also going to need, you're also going to need some kind of embossing tool. So I'm using this Chatterbox embossing tool. And I'm also going to use this slice embossing pad. But you can use a mouse pad or any kind of embossing pad that you have. So let me go ahead and get started. Let me put the dies away. And if I bought the die today, you can get this die right now. They have a sale and Joann's, and I believe it's 40% off all the spellbinder dies. So you might want to go today, and it's actually April the 19th. So what I want to do is, notice this one has like a little bit of shimmer. Well, I want to use these creams. These are some luster rub-ons, and it's acid-free, and I bought this some time ago. So I'm going to use some of this cream. Now I used a gold one to create that shimmer on this rose. And it used to be that color, and then with the gold it created that shimmer. For these, it already has a little shimmer, so I'm just going to use a little bit of the gold here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your flower, and you're just going to rub a little bit of that gold on there. Oop, picked the wrong one. Okay. And actually, let me see how it looks with a little bit. Actually, that looks good with a little bit of gray on the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all these petals. And so I went ahead and did all my petals, as you can see here. Now I need to go ahead and fold them. So what I do is I hold the petal, each petal with my thumb and my second finger, and then I just pinch the sides and push it down like you see there. You're going to do that to all the tips of your petals. So you're going to do something like that. Do the same thing here. You're going to do it on all the tips of your petals. See there. Do the same thing here. And then the same thing here. And I like holding it because that way I can round off the edges of my petal with my finger here, so I use my finger to kind of round it off, as you can see there. Now this is where, once I've done that, now the center one is going to be a little different. So the smallest one is going to be different. You're going to turn it over so this side is going to be hidden within the bud. So this is this outside part of the bud. This is the inside part of the bud. So you're going to just bend the petals up. So if you do have paper that's one-sided color, so there's a white color on the back, a white paper on the back, and just a pattern paper in the front, you want to put the white paper up and kind of pinch your flowers towards the opposite, or the back of the flower. Okay, so I've done that. So now I'm going to take an embossing tool and I'm going to, not the center, so this is my center flower and this is my bud. I'm going to take my embossing tool and I'm just going to roll the middle part, and this is going to be shown in the outside of the flower. So this side is the one that is going to be shown when you form your flower. Okay, so now I'm done with that. So I'm going to take my bud, and you're going to need, I forgot to tell you, you're going to need either some type of glue. I'm going to use hot glue just because it dries a lot quicker, but you can use any kind of glue. So you're going to insert your bead with your wire in the center of your smallest flower, the bud, and then you're going to bring it up like you can see here, and you're going to form a bud. See how I formed the bud? Okay. So you're going to bring it up and form a nice little bud, and you're going to hide the bead like that. See how the bead is hidden? You don't see it. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and take your glue, and you're going to apply glue on the edges to kind of close your bud. Don't need a lot of glue. Just enough glue to kind of make sure that your bud remains closed, like that. And one thing I like to do is I like to kind of like bend some of the tips of my bud. I like to bend it backwards. So form something like, so it looks like a true bud, like you see there. It's similar to, let me look at this one. Notice that one, how I bend the tip of my bud back like that. You want to do the same thing here. Okay, so there's my bud. Now I'm going to take the next size, which is this one. I'm going to insert my bud, and then I'm going to put, let's make sure. Actually, I didn't put enough glue on my bud. It's kind of opening up, so I got to make sure it's nice and tight. Now it's nice and tight. Okay. So there, that's nice and tight now. So I'm going to take the next size. Going to put some adhesive on the bottom. You can see there it's on the bottom. And then I'm going to push this up. Okay. And then once you push it up, you're going to put a little bit of adhesive right on the tips. And then push the petal up and hold it. Going to do the same thing here. Push the petal up and hold it. Put the same thing here, just a little bit of glue, push the petal up and hold it. Just hold it for a little bit. And then bend it backwards a little. Okay, so you have something like that. I'm just getting rid of the cobwebs, some of the glue webs. Okay, so now the next one, which is my next size, you're going to offset the petals. So notice that I want to upset it so these two petals are going to be right in the center of one of this petal, as you can see. So you're going to offset it a little bit. Put some glue at the bottom, at the base, and then pull up. And that's why it's so good to have like a wire. I like using a wire instead of a brad because I have more room to be able to pull the flower up to create that nice closed rose, as you can see there. And then I'm just going to put some more glue in some of the areas and pull up just to make it a little tighter. Okay. In there. So now this is the next. See how it's starting to form a rose? And I can leave it like this, so it'll be half, a little smaller rose. But I want to go ahead and put my next two petals. Now these two flowers are the same size. So they're exactly the same size. So I'm going to take this one, insert it, and then make sure that I place it off center. So I'm going to make sure that I put it a little off center like you see there. And just push it up, pull it up. See how I can pull it up real good? And there you have it. And then the last one. I'm going to insert this in, make sure that it's offset it a little bit. I think it's good. And then pull. And see, there you have it. So it's a beautiful rose. You can see it there. It's perfect. And this one's a little smaller than this one. Okay? And to recap, the way I created this one was with the large, so I used the largest petal. So here are all the petals of my dies. So for this one that you see there, I actually used the largest petal, 2 of these. So 2 of these. Then I used the next size, 1 of this. This was the next size. Then the next size of that one, 1 of these. And this was 1 of these. And this was my center. This was my bud. Then for this one, I did not use the large size, so then I used 2 of the next large size, then 1 of these, the next size, 1 of these, and then 1 of the smaller dies. And actually, I think I'm going to try to create a rose using these 4 dies, and it'll be a little smaller. And you can really see how beautiful that bouquet or this flower is going to look in your scrapbook, your cards, or anything like that. It's not as bulky. It's a little flat. Notice how it's kind of not very dimensional. So for a scrapbook page, it will be perfect for a scrapbook page. So I hope you like this tutorial. And see, it's flat. And thank you for watching. Bye now.